normally when we talk about how to create powerful impression is on how much of us being able to activate the senses, what they see, what they hear you, even the smell sense, touch and stuff like that. So when we talk about powerful what they call impression, there are two ways that we normally touch on. The first one is actually eye contact.
Okay.
Actually eye contact is powerful. How long you look at the person and the engagement of the eye, how many times you look, how long you look, all this is actually way more important than anything else, because we are human. We cannot have 24/7 dressing up nicely, doing makeup and stuff. So a powerful first impression, not necessary when you are actually like, oh, you are dolled up, but on how are we actually sincere, actually is through eyes. And the second one is actually smile. Smile is free anyway. So when we smile to people, even though that day it might not be your best outfit or whatnot, to me it doesn't matter. So powerful impression is very much into who you really are and how we are sincere to people.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Achievers Show, where our goal at the show is to bring to you some of the top achievers so that you can learn from their strategies and mindset for you to achieve success in your life as well. Now, all of you know that in business, one of the most important elements for businesses to succeed is about personal branding. And today we have a multiple award-winning entrepreneur, a reputable Malaysia women's leader that is known not only in Malaysia but as well as in the Asia's level, Dr. Wendy Liew. Her expertise is in personal branding and image consulting. Now, she is also the Women's Icon Malaysia, recognized by Berg Singapore 2018 and the 100 Most Influential Young Entrepreneur 2017. On her social media, Wendy has been listed as the most inspirational LinkedIn icon in Malaysia you should follow right now by Marketing in Asia for 2 consecutive years. To date, she has trained more than hundreds of companies that includes MNCs, GLCs, and the Fortune 500 companies, over 60,000 corporate people, ranging from lower levels all the way to MDs and VVIPs. Wendy has also been featured in media and press appearances in Asia Biz Today Singapore, TV9, RTM1, and The Star. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Dr. Wendy Liew. Welcome to the show, and really thank you so much for making the time for this show.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is mine.
No problem. So let's just start off by telling us a little bit about what you do, and also how did this entrepreneurship journey start off for you?
Alright, in a way, normally people rate us as transformers because we are doing transformation, and one of our program is actually called 3D transformation, whereby we are helping people to discover themselves, develop the right skills, and then how they deliver themselves. So on how they connect themselves with the what they call the public or whatever it is. So how the entrepreneurship started, as in like years back, I was actually from finance background, but of course the degree that I took is not so much on what I wanted to. You know, those days back then, people are very much into fulfilling the parents' dream and not so much in our dream.
I think I made that mistake as well.
But you're so much younger. So after I actually graduated with majoring in finance, and I realized that it is not something that I want. So in a way, when you every day going to work, you feel like, what am I doing? It's just like you're working there without soul. So within 6 months, my first job is Standard Chartered Bank, then I cabut already. So right after that, I still continue in what they call working in related fields. I was in Kunia Insurance as well. Again, in less than 2 years, I just cannot stand anymore. So there was one day I told my mom I want to go and change profession. I want to go and learn makeup. She was actually very angry, very upset, because I was the only graduate at home, and at the same time, we are from very humble beginnings. So from there, she said we do not need graduates to go for makeup. So of course I begged her a little, and she granted me the wish. And from there, I slowly started moving my industry from finance into the beauty industry, something like that.
So what gave you the faith, like going from finance into beauty industry? Like a lot of people, when they want to leave their job and into entrepreneurship especially, they are like, so much uncertainty in them.
Yes, I understand how it feels. Maybe I'm someone who are very impulsive, Let's say even until now, after so many years, those days people would say, okay, because you do not have much commitment, you're much younger, and then I was only about like 25 years old. So, but even until now, I'm so impulsive, as in I'm not sure whether it is my strength or weaknesses perhaps. So let's say, for example, I say, okay, I want to take up a course. I will straight away Google and I found a course. Straight away, I will register, regardless wherever it is. So the one that I went to US, everything happened within a month. So I just book it, then I plan. Meaning to say, I just make decision and then the solution I plan later. Yeah, something like that. So for me, I have nothing to lose. Because a lot of people say, hey, you don't scared, man, later fail how, yeah? I say, no, I'm not even successful now, so I have nothing to lose. Right? So straight away, I even have not even get a job or backup plan. Straight away, I resign. And then only I find my way out. So when we talk about that from the makeup, I was also still under employment for about roughly more or less about 2 years. So all in after graduation, employment is only 4 years. Then right after that, I was just like, okay, never mind, I'm still alone. So I just work it off. Yeah. So, but of course, it is tough initially. So even there was actually a moment I asked myself, what am I doing here? So I actually told myself, if tak jadi anytime with my education background and whatnot, I can actually back to employment. So at least I give it a try.
And what's the worst could happen?
Exactly, I love that.
Okay, okay. So our topic for today is how to create a profitable personal brand.
Okay.
Let's start off by what does a personal brand means to you, and why is it important for people like you and me, or to other people to have this personal brand?
All right, I love this question because in a way I think personal branding, this particular word has been overused or even misused. In a way, when we talk about personal branding, it is not to camouflage who you really are, but in fact, it is the authenticity of you yourself, Because if, let's say, for example, you are your own brand, your image is your logo. So because we are our own walking advertisement, we do not need to do extra as in like, oh, I want to mimic something like that, I have to do this and that. It's because after this, it is not you anymore. Yeah. So a profitable personal branding that lasts. Why I need to use the word last is because a lot of time people start fast, but how long you can last that matters. So how I look at it, in short, in a nutshell, personal branding is authenticity about you as a brand.
Okay, so when you first started off your own personal brand, moving from finance to beauty industry, I know you have worked with a lot of celebrity figures and beauty pageants as well. How did you manage to use your brand to engage them and get them as a client for you?
All right. When I started to actually work with celebrities, then I was still really, really young. Yeah. So how I look at it is that we have to be sincere with them. Actually, celebrities are also human, They do not like to be like, oh, it's actually no point you puji them, so when you tell them the truth, in fact, they appreciate it more. So sincerity is also a brand that you are telling yourself or them, is as in like, we are here as a friend. So from there, they give you trust. So this one is sincerity, is the branding when we work with them in a way.
Okay, so let's say once you have that sincerity, when you approach them, what are some of the criteria that you need in order to have them work with you?
Okay, criteria, of course, we have to also beef up our own skills and stuff because to them, as a celebrity, they need a certain prerequisite requirement. You must be also, have some experience. I still remember when I was actually with Versace, that time also like very, very new, just a few months after I graduated from makeup. So I actually did a white lie, She said, how long you have been in the industry? I said 3 years. Then after a while I said, wow, say lah, cannot lah. So but of course after that, when you did a good job, they are okay with that. But of course, at least we are there to actually give our best lah. In a way, they will still give you chance, if you actually did your best. But of course, I do kena those who are actually not so, I should actually rephrase it in a better way. Maybe they are a little bit more demanding. So of course, there are smooth ones, and at the same time, there are also some of the not so okay one in a way.
Right. Then just now you said that you started this at a very young age as well, right? So there are a lot of like consultants like you out there. What separates your brand, or what separates you from the other people? Why should people choose you instead of other people?
Wow, okay, this is interesting. I think the continuous input or upgrade is actually important. We cannot say like, let's say for example 10-20 years ago I talk about course, oh now I'm a certified image consultant, and then within the 10 years we do nothing. So the continuous of the upgrading, whereby it make your original contents interesting, that is important. When you talk about how we differentiate ourselves with others, as in like same topic, but how can you put flavor into the same topic, is that matters. And then how can I give you the solution and solve your problem? Because some people might say, hey, what is your price tag for this particular services? When you are able to solve the person's problem, the price tag is no longer an issue. So something like that.
It's like value and price, right?
Yes, exactly. Because a lot of time, even when we buy some things, right, you will say, hey, why should I pay this much for this particular product? So even we ourselves as a consumer, we will actually try to justify, is it worth the price or not? So what is the added value that we have?
So to you, what is the key to build a successful personal brand?
Key, the first one will be authenticity. Because when you're authentic, then only you can last. You cannot actually put a mask on for a long period of time. And then secondly, you have to be creative. If it is not very fast, tight off. Let's say for example, if I just know you, I find you very interesting, but if you are keeping like this for, I think even friendship or marriage is the same. You cannot be the same you for the past 10-20 years. So we have to be creative, so that people will feel like, what's next? People will look forward what's next. And of course, if you, the last one is also as in like focus lah. Because when we talk about personal branding, it is not like how much things that you can do, but how good you are in doing just one thing. That is actually powerful. Because if I actually want to go and see a doctor, I would rather pay for an what they call a specialist and not a GP.
So I like the point that you said, being creative and keep on innovating, because like in this era of change, you need to keep on update yourself.
Exactly. You cannot actually have talking about the same thing last year, you talk about this, then next year still this. So we have to put in new input, even though it is still the same thing, but how we actually put it into other dimension, this is actually important.
So let's assume that if we have these 3 criteria to build a brand, so the next question is, how do you convey that message, what your brand is trying to convey? How do you put that message out to the public? What medium do you use as well?
Wow, what medium? What medium, as in like, do you mean like social media?
Do you use social media? Do you use word of mouth or networking events? How do you communicate that brand to people?
Alright. When we talk about this, up to this moment of time, or as of now, social media is still one of the very powerful one. And of course, I really love LinkedIn. I started LinkedIn about 2 years. And I find that this is a very special platform, unlike the rest of the platform. And when we talk about what type of medium, it depends also on who are our target market, the audience that we are talking to. So I'm not so much into a networking person. I don't mean that networking doesn't work, but how I look at it, it is actually not who you know that matters the most.
Who knows you?
Exactly, it's actually who knows you. So the constant, what they call appearance, as in like, how can you be the top of mind in the person's mind? So I started my daily tips first about 2007, about 2-3 years ago. So that daily tips helps me a lot into going into the mind of the person. So after a while, if you stop posting, people will say, hey, why do they know posting from you? And that is actually how you tell people on who you are and what you are doing without hard selling. Those days when I first started in 10 years ago, so we always write like at the end of the day, say, okay, please contact, like our page. I think we have stopped doing this for the past 3-4 years already. And we find that when we don't do this, the result is better, because we are not trying to sell you anything. We are just sharing our thoughts and our knowledge in a way. So this is actually one of the medium that I find that is really effective.
So talking about LinkedIn, I know you have been recognized as the top influential figure in LinkedIn a lot.
Thank you.
So talking about LinkedIn personal branding, what are some of the things that you need to take note of while you are using LinkedIn to brand yourself?
Have to be really careful in what we are posting. Careful as in like not trying to camouflage, because LinkedIn is the professional platform.
Yeah.
You cannot simply put things which is actually not valid or not relevant.
Right.
Because when we talk about how we do branding, we have to stay relevant on what we are doing, on what we are posting and what we are sharing about. So the contents is actually something that matters, and how can we make the contents relevant, not to what we are doing, and also to the target audience that we are actually sending the message out.
Okay, so when you talk about contents, is it like written posts? Is it like videos? What type of contents do you usually produce, or do you recommend people to produce when they first started LinkedIn?
Oh, okay. If the person who are starting posting in LinkedIn, normally we will suggest that, okay, let's start posting things that you are most familiar with.
Okay.
Yeah, so things that you are doing, you are very good at.
Right.
So when you share your knowledge or your thoughts out, people can actually feel you. Okay. So when we talk about sharing, let's say for example, some people, okay, I went to an event and there they post things out. When you post the event without sharing your thoughts, your giveaway, that is actually not powerful enough.
Yeah.
What people want to know is that what you actually get from the events, your thoughts about that. Because when we talk about sharing our thoughts, there is no right or wrong. But the more you share about your thoughts, the more people can feel you. So when you get like-minded people, that's how the things will actually get connected. And of course, I'm actually very thankful about LinkedIn platform. I get a lot of opportunities from LinkedIn as well.
Okay. So, what are your biggest like challenges that you face while starting your own personal brands?
Wow. Okay. If like biggest challenges, in a way, because we are starting from zero connection, really from scratch with very limited or lean resources.
And how many connections do you have right now?
Connection, I mean you as in LinkedIn?
Yeah.
7,000 plus only.
Okay.
Yes. So it's actually tough as in like, how can you get through the first phase as in like nobody will like anything at all. So a lot of people just end there, because when you started this one, they will feel like, hey, why am I posting? And very soon they drain off of contents, and they drain off as in like, the connection. And also, not a lot of people are there to like give comments so that I can actually get connected to you. So all these little things we have to constantly doing it. The consistency matters. Yeah.
So it's about the consistency, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know a lot. LinkedIn is actually a very useful platform, and a lot of students. One of the things I found out is that they don't usually use LinkedIn.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but even if I ask them to use LinkedIn, they will say like they do not know what content to produce. Even like entrepreneurs, sometimes I found that their LinkedIn is also may not be that powerful.
Yeah.
So, what are some of your tips to build like a powerful content on LinkedIn?
Powerful content is the content that is genuine. Okay. Maybe I can actually share how can I maintain the daily booster or the daily posting.
Oh, so you actually post daily?
Yes, every day.
One post a day?
Yeah, one post a day for Monday to Friday, and it has lasted for about 3 years already.
Okay.
Yeah, so how can it actually happen? As I started, I struggled like, I was like, what's next tomorrow? So you will struggle, but after what, the longer you do, the more you feel like it's actually okay, or it actually gets easier. It's because I am sharing what happened to me today, be it happening to myself or what I see, what I do. Even let's say, for example, after this interview, so what are the thoughts that I find, how come this person will do these things? You just share your thoughts, and this is genuine. This is actually real things. Because when people read it, it might actually also touch someone's heart and say, oh yes, why I never thought of that and stuff. When we are doing some things like you do not intentionally create it, you will find that it's actually easy. Those days when I started like, okay, weekend I will do for the next week 5. So after a while I feel like, wow, it is actually very challenging. So now normally I will do like at night after work, before I start doing whatever is needed, I will do it, or the next morning I will do.
Yeah, okay. Because I think a lot of people, they have a misconception that they need to create content on LinkedIn. So usually for me or for a lot of people, what I've learned is that instead of creating content, you document contents. You document what you do on LinkedIn as well.
Yes.
Okay. So back to that topic, talking about like building an authentic personal brand. How do you be authentic to people?
How do I be authentic? Just being myself.
Just being yourself.
Exactly, because let's say for example, I'm an image consultant. I am actually from Kampong, I'm quite a rough girl, So in a way, I do not really need to purposely act it out like I'm very graceful, So normally how I talk, be it you see me in person or not, I'm still the same. So when we talk about authentic, also as in like people meet you in front of the screen or behind the screen, it is still the same.
Right.
So I'm actually quite a straightforward person. I will say okay if I'm okay, not okay means not okay.
Okay, so just now we've been talking a lot about building your personal brand online, which is using LinkedIn as a platform. So what about like if you meet someone offline or in any events, how do you actually communicate that personal brand to that person?
Okay, communicate personal branding to
the person that you meet offline.
Okay, I think personal branding has to be with us all the time. So we do not really purposely like, okay, now move on to So the personal branding is actually how we carry ourselves, our business and social etiquette, and whether the person is actually comfortable with us or not. I always find that if the chemistry is there, so we need not to do much, and then people will like you. When we talk about this, I want to touch on a little bit on connecting. Let's say, for example, in communication, doesn't mean that we're in connection. In connection as in like, now we are in communication, but how can you make people feel like, wow, I think I like this girl. It's kind of like I've been knowing this person for a long period of time. Sometimes you meet someone and then first meet, you can actually talk about 3 hours, 4 hours. Then when you actually left the place, you say, hey, why I'm actually talking to this person for so long? That kind of chemistry is something that we want. Is because sharing is powerful. I'm sure that Dr. Ajing, he is actually a storyteller. It is actually really powerful. Telling stories is just like it is authentic, and you do not need to make up story. It's because it's your story. And secondly is and how you make people feel good. Just like you are actually doing something really wonderful, because when you interview people, the person who are being invited, they feel that they are being acknowledged. This is also one of the very powerful ways in building personal brand.
Okay, so talking about like when you connect with people, making them like you and making them like, after they talk to you, they feel like they know you for ages. That's what we call rapport, right? So how do you build that deep level of connection when you are actually talking to, let's say, a person that you don't really know? Build rapport. I think building rapport takes time. Building rapport takes time, as in like, of course, during the event itself, you can actually just talk with the person and stuff. But after that, whether we still maintain the friendship or not actually matters, because once the rapport is built, we need to also at the same time build trust. So every networking, if the person is okay, is I like the person or whatnot, I will first start with friendship, and not so much into business first. It's because how I look at it, we cannot actually start a business when I even do not like the person in the first place. So what do you think is the most important aspect in starting a business?
Together with people from LinkedIn? Or
not really, but what do you think makes a business successful?
What makes business successful? Okay, when we talk about how to make a business successful, from my opinion, is on how you manage to use limited resources, maximize the outcome, and can sustain for a long period of time. I have been in the business for maybe about 15 years. This is something that we are still trying to maintain, because we are doing a business with very lean resources, lean team, lean resources. So how can we maximize all these things, and still putting a brand that we managed to go for a bigger corporation? So maintaining and sustain it for a long period of time is actually the essence on profitable business.
Okay, so one more thing that I'd like to touch on is that I know when you do image consulting, a lot is about first impression. That's how people look at you the first time they see you. How do you create a powerful first impression for yourself, and why is it important?
Actually, first impression starts with building perception. When we talk about building perception, this is actually the first topic normally during our class. We will talk about how perception starts. Whatever we see, we talk about, we heard, is very much into a perception. Once you look at the thing, you will have something in mind. We don't say it out, doesn't mean that we don't think about that. Correct or not? So normally when we talk about how to create powerful impression is on how much of us being able to activate the senses. What they see, what they hear you, even the smell sense, touch and stuff like that. So when we talk about powerful what they call impression, there are two ways that we normally touch on. The first one is actually eye contact. Actually eye contact is powerful. How long you look at the person and the engagement of the eye, how many times you look, how long you look, all this is actually way more important than anything else, because we are human. We cannot have 24/7 dressing up nicely, doing makeup and stuff. So a powerful first impression, not necessarily when you are actually like, oh, you are dolled up, but on how are we actually sincere, actually is through eyes. And the second one is actually smile. Smile is free anyway. So when we smile to people, even though that day it might not be your best outfit or whatnot, to me it doesn't matter. So powerful impression is very much into who you really are, and again, to me, back to the end is also how we are sincere to people.
So eye contact, having a great smile, and also to be sincere with people. One last question. What is the one advice for people who are starting out new, who wants to start their own personal brand? What is the one advice from you?
Focus.
Focus,
really focus, because when I first started, when I first started my own image consultancy firm, I was everywhere. I was trying to do this, do that, as I acted myself as if like a vacuum cleaner, sapu all, So, but after a while, you find that what am I doing, and you find that you are heading nowhere, is because there are too much things on the plate. So I have to be really thankful to one of the person who actually came to me and said, Wendy, you will not be successful. I said, why you say like that? Why you say I'm not successful? No, why you say that I will not be successful? Because, and that is actually a calling, as in like I have to actually slow down and really think about, what am I doing? Because I'm actually everywhere. So focus is actually the main key, as in like, if the person do not tell me this one, I might still like, hitting the wall, banging here and there, trying to do all things. That's why they're saying like, jacks of all trades, master of none. So focus is actually important. Find your niche, do what you do best, and not trying to imitate other people. It's because if this works on you, but doesn't mean that it works on me as well.
Talking about that, I got another question that came up to me.
Wow.
So the question would be, because I know as an entrepreneur, when they first start out, they may not be so sure about what niche they want to focus on. So they may be at everywhere trying out different things to see what they are really passionate about. And of course, they will be hitting walls at the same time. So when you talk about focus, how can someone really find out what he wants to do or what he wants to focus on?
This one is follow the heart. When you talk about that, just example, a lot of fresh grads, let's say for example after graduated, if you are doing something that you keep complaining every day, but you are trying or forcing yourself to do, that might not be what you really want to do. Because a lot of people will say, okay, never mind, just do this. This is so good, this is actually profitable. The profit will actually stop one day when you cannot actually do it. The passion is not there. So even though you keep chasing the money will not come, We have to first fulfill our dreams, and then the money will chase you. This is what I always believe in, is because I always find that it's actually sad to see the youth, right? They are actually exchanging time with money. So sad. Not only youth, a lot of people like 30, 40 years old, even 50 years old, they are just there to work because of money, because they are exchanging their expertise with the salary. Yeah. But if you are actually doing something that is actually following your heart, the creativity will come. You do not really need to I have to think of something different. So this is something that you are really, really good at, then do it.
Okay. Well, I believe that is a really powerful advice from Dr. Wendy to all of you out there who's watching this. And with that, I would like to really thank you for your time. And I really hope that all of you here have learned so much from Dr. Wendy. Even me, myself, I've learned a lot from you.
Thank you.
With that, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for watching the Achiever Show. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our channel so that you can get first-hand update on our show, where we'll be releasing 2 episodes every month to help you to unleash your deepest potential. Once again, thank you so much for watching and stay extraordinary. I'll see you the next time.